The story for the new DLC for Rage is extremely simple. You, of course, are the Ark Survivor once again, and you have to travel to the Hager settlement because you heard some stuff has been going down with a new clan called the Scorchers, which is, of course, these bandits that use fire as their main source of weapons. And you travel down there to see what's actually going on, and you realize that they're actually making a gunship. And if they make this gunship, they're going to pretty much take over the entire world or some stupid crap. And you actually meet with a girl named Sarah, who is a brand new character here, and you have to follow her and, of course, take down a bunch of Scorchers, take down a bunch of mutants, and try and stop these Scorchers before they make this gunship. The story here is fairly generic, and your character still does not talk, but I have to admit, I do like the new character that they introduced to you, Sarah. I kind of like her, and some of the supporting characters here, and I actually like the enemies. The enemies, the Scorchers, always yell out random things that are kind of funny and stuff. I like that. So, you know what, overall, I think the story here is, nothing great, but fun. Now, the sound for Rage's new DLC is pretty much the same as the full game of Rage. I mean, the sound design is great here. All the guns sound fantastic. The soundtrack itself is very well done, even though it's kind of forgettable, I'll admit. And I think the voice acting and all the brand new voice acting for the DLC is very well done here as well. Not much else to say here. I'm just going to go by quickly and say the sound here is really good. Now for the graphics, Rage is still a powerhouse visually because this game is just phenomenal, and the new DLC, all it does is add new stuff. Like, it adds new environments, adds a new gun, adds some, new characters, and everything looks so well done in this game. I especially love all the little details that they add into the characters' faces, like, just seeing freckles, or maybe just like looking at the eyes, and the eyes look very real. I don't know, I just love the character models, the animations, the environments themselves, how well textured and shadowed and shaded they are. I love it. I think the graphics here are still phenomenal, and the DLC only adds to that. Now let's talk about the gameplay for the new DLC for Rage, which it's pretty much exactly like the full game. You run, you gun, you shoot a lot of dudes, you put a sentry bot down, you drive to your next mission, you do that, you get a little bit of story, and that's about it. And for the most part, that's the entire 2-hour DLC there. Now, like I said in my original Rage review, I thought the gunplay was extremely well done and a lot of fun, and it felt really good. It actually gave you a lot of weight to your guns, and when you shot someone, it felt good. And for the most part, it's exactly same here, except you get a bunch of new enemies, of course the Scorchers, and a brand new set of mutants that you can fight. Now, I will admit that it started to get a little monotonous in the middle of the game because, I don't know, it's just they give you so many mutants to fight, and after a little while they all do the same thing. They all rush towards you, and it gets a little annoying. The Scorchers are much easier to fight and much more fun because they actually decide, alright, I need to take cover, or some decide, oh, I'm going to flank them, or I'm going to rush in or something. So it's always different, but the mutants, they're all just like, wow, I'm just rushing you. Now, besides that, they also add a couple new environments, which are all fun to explore, and my favorite one being at the end of this DLC, you get a trophy room, which gives you all these little trophies on your wall to pretty much show all the things you did throughout the entire game, like what bosses you killed or what missions you finished, which is cool. You get a new episode of Mutant Bash, which of course is that Horde mode-esque TV show that's in the game, which is a lot of fun, as long as you can get over the monotony at times, because that gets a little boring too. And of course, you get the brand new weapon, the nail gun, which is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll explain it anyway. It's a machine gun that fires nails, and there's also an extra fire mode where you can pretty much shoot a harpoon, a big nail that launches people into walls or grounds when you fire at them, and it's pretty awesome. So overall, for $5 you get 2 hours of gameplay and a bunch of other extra things that you can do. I think this is definitely well worth it if you really enjoyed Rage like I did. Even though it does get a little boring in the middle, it's still a lot of fun, so definitely go check it out. Overall, there you go. There's my review. Thank you and goodbye.